Welcome to Cast of Wonders, the fiction audio magazine for young adults featuring stories of the fantastic. Today we present Finding the Blue Door by L. Lambert Lawson. L. Lambert Lawson writes from his library in Southern California. From 2005 to 2007, he served as a Peace Corps volunteer in Ukraine. He is the publisher of Kazka Press, an independent SFF press with a monthly flash fiction contest. He can be found online at www.llambertlawson.com or on Twitter @LLambertLawson. The narrator is our own regular reader, Marguerite Kenner. And now, we've a tale to tell.
Finding the Blue Door by L. Lambert Lawson. When they summited the hill and took in the sun washing the valley of Denier, the dwarf was already 2 days past her jump time. Lexa spun a compass, and when it clicked to a stop, she matched the angle of the copper needle to diagrams in her notebook. "The door's on the eastern edge," she said. "Hurry, Holland." "Hurry!" the dwarf spat. Her voice bounced off the red rock that stood across the landscape like sheets of dried blood, each a cataract frozen in time. "I'm friggin' blind. We're pinned on some bloody precipice, and she's telling me to hurry?" Holland crossed her arms over her pock-marked armor and sat down. "Get up, damn you!" "Look at me," Holland said. "Look through me." "Holland, no." Her voice came out like the creak of a rusted hinge. "Do it." Lexa turned and regrettably found she could see the striations in the rock through her companion's body. A scorpion skittered directly behind the dwarf, its pincers clicking against the rock as it danced. Lexa shuffled her feet, and the scorpion paused, flexed its tail, and then dashed into a crevice. "Blindness. Then fading. Next my blood will start dripping out of me, and I'll be gone. I've overstayed my welcome." In truth, she'd fallen in love with this era, with its dragons and castles and living graveyards, and she'd stayed much too long. "I've never lost a charge," Lexa said. She pulled on the dwarf's hand. "Come on now, up with ya." Holland crossed her arms. "I've never missed a door jump until now. Why did we hire you again?" "Because I'm the best router out here, you stubborn cow." Lexa picked Holland up, settled the dwarf's stout body on her shoulder, and began picking her way down the hill. 3 days ago, it'd taken Lexa both arms and much straining to even pull the dwarf to her feet. Now, she'd lifted the dwarf with one arm and no strain at all. She had no time to lose. To her relief, Holland lay as still as a sack of beets and shut her mouth, but as Lexa closed in on the foot of the hill, the first drop of blood fell onto her jerkin. It sizzled and smoked, and sulfur stung her nose. "Halfway there, Holland. Hold on." The dwarf groaned, and another drop fell. As she hit the lip of the valley, the sun crossed over the horizon. Lexa felt night seeping into the air, campfires and broiling meat and cool wind. And she knew the door would substantiate soon, fading in as Holland was fading out. Then the door would open, and someone would pull her through and save all iterations of her throughout time. Time dwarfs kept the stream of history flowing. If one died, they all died, and then the world would slowly die too. That couldn't happen. All she had to do was find the door. She pulled her compass out and spun it as she ran. "Not far, Holland," she said, as 3 more argent drops broiled against her breast. Lexa skirted the glowing halos of the campfires, her pace drawing stares and shouts. She ignored them and ran, her gait quickening as Holland's drops of blood coalesced into a fiery trickle. Her compass hummed beneath her jerkin, lifted slightly, and she bolted in the direction it pulled. "We're close now, Holland." The rockwork before her changed from a haphazard natural arrangement to one clearly made by the hands of dwarves. Her compass whined and thudded against her chest like a heart. Here. She knew it was here. When she skidded around a pile of carefully cut and stacked slabs of stone, she saw the glow of the door. The curved sigils of the fallen god imbued its face, and as the sun completely slipped from the sky, the jamb and threshold and hinges all thickened against the rock wall. Pale blue light seeped through the gaps in the door, flickering against the sandstone like cold fire. Lexa placed Holland's body at the foot of the door, her body so translucent the glowing pool of blood under her body seemed the only thing left of her. Lexa bit her lip. "Come on." She stared at the pale door, willing it to open. "Come on!" And then the pale light brightened, shedding its dull pallor for a richer hue, the glow so sharp Lexa shielded her eyes with the crook of her slender arm. The wind rose then, swirling and rushing, lifting Lexa's hair, filling her lungs with a damp sweetness, and producing a whistling that almost, but not quite, masked the sound of the door clicking open. The wind died, and the light dimmed, and a stout figure emerged. "Thank you, lass," the figure said, and when Lexa opened her eyes, she saw it was Holland, opaque and clear-eyed, but much, much older than the Holland she'd routed here. The old Holland stooped, picked up the young and insubstantial one, and carried her through the door. As soon as her body crossed the threshold, her blood soaked into the rock and disappeared. After a moment, the old Holland reappeared and placed a package in Lexa's hand. "You've saved the future, lass. We thank you, and we wish you success on your next route." The old Holland bowed and stepped back through the door, which closed behind her and dissolved into the rock. Alone, in the dark, Lexa fumbled the wrapping off the package. Inside, she found a clue to her next route, a lock of hair twisted in a rusted wire. Platinum and black, the two shades of her very own hair. She pulled out her compass, slipped the hair over top the needle, and spoke words of magic. The hair dissolved into the needle, which spun in mad arcs until settling southeast, blissfully southeast, towards home.
And so ends Finding the Blue Door. Come tell us what you thought of the story in the forums. We'd love to hear from you. Cast of Wonders is a production of Wolfsbane Publishing. The editor is Barry J. Northern. The audio producer and host is Graham Dunlop. It's released under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Share it with all your friends and family, but don't change it or sell it. Theme is Appeal to Heavens by Alexei Nov from musicalley.com.